Hello everyone, I am cryptorenzi and this is your channel for Apex Bitcoin and crypto news. And in this video, unfortunately, we're going to go over some news that's not going to be easy to hear, but it's definitely something I find the mainstream media is not speaking of, and you need to be made aware of it as soon as possible so you can make the best decision with your money, your finances, and your future. But if you stick around to the end, I will give you a bonus on some good news that you're going to want to definitely hear about. So without further ado, let's jump in. All right, so the first thing I want to bring to your attention is this article I found. So I do a bunch of research. This is my forte. Okay, I love doing research. It's something I've done ever since I was in college, and I work really hard to try to find and sift through stuff that may not be on mainstream media, may not be something easily found on YouTube. So this can add a ton of value to your life. And unfortunately, I found stuff that really concerned me, and I was not happy to see this. So I just wanted to report this and bring it to your attention. And I'm going to tie a lot of stuff in together, which is just going to kind of really make you think and kind of see things from a different lens, which is rather concerning to say the least. But I see potentially a huge bank crisis coming where banks could be failing again, like we saw in 2008. So the first article I want to bring to your attention is Bank of America unrealized losses on securities rose to $131.6 billion. Okay, this is rather scary. So this is from 2 days ago. So Bank of America reported unrealized losses of $131.6 billion on securities in the third quarter, growing from the second quarter, mind you. So again, they're heading in the wrong direction. But the bank does not expect the portfolio will generate actual losses in the long term. Now, keep in mind, in case you don't know actual from unactual losses. So if you buy a stock, let's just say we buy Apple at, let's just make the math easy, what, $200, okay? And then you buy $100 worth, and then the stock goes down 50%. Well, you're going to show, obviously, that you've lost 50% of your money. If you don't sell, if you never sell, then those are unrealized losses, okay? If you happen to sell at that point, then that's a 50% realized loss. So Bank of America is sitting on almost $132 billion of unrealized losses. So if something would force them to sell, now Bank of America is in serious trouble of liquidation, similar to Lehman Brothers in 2008. So very scary to even remotely consider and think about this, but the numbers don't lie. And this is stuff you have to dig to kind of see what's actually going on in the balance sheets of these banks. And another thing that's scary to note is this is not the only bank. You can't even imagine other banks could be in this situation that we don't know of. So this is just one point I want you to pay close attention to. Now, next, we want to look at the 10-year treasuries. Okay, these yields almost at 5%. This is a 16-year high. This is, again, not something you want to see. This is bad news for the banks because what's going to happen, this is how these banks could seriously get in trouble. All of the depositors that are, let's just say in Bank of America, could start to pull their money because they're going to start to see attractive yields in money market accounts. And actually, let me go ahead and show you that. So right now, Bank of America is only paying, I mean, look at these fees. Are you kidding me? The interest rate. 0.01, 0.02 if you're gold, 0.03 if you're platinum, 0.04 if you're platinum honors diamond and diamond honors. Are you kidding me? Seriously. I got this effective today from Bank of America, and these are the rates paid out in Nevada right now. Again, your mileage may vary, but they're not going to be that much higher in other states. This is pretty much what they pay across the board. Here's the problem, but I don't want to say the problem. This is where the smart people are. But you put your money in a company like Fidelity, and again, not paid, not sponsored. I get no money, no kickbacks, no nothing. I'm not even an affiliate or have no, ties to Fidelity other than I use their product. If you move your money here, even if you just let it sit, you earn 5%. Again, so 5% at Fidelity, even if you have what I think you need like $150,000 to qualify for Diamond or something, 0.04. Are you kidding me? So unfortunately, people's going to start to realize this. This could potentially happen, which is going to push people out of the banking system, which whether you love it or hate it or whatever, that's not the debate right now, but this is not looking good because we do not want all of our banks to fail, because this is going to actually bring up another problem I want to show you. Again, so this is all the deposits that have been put into US banks over the last 50 years. Now you can see this number steadily rising. Okay, steadily up, 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 up. And then you have a massive peak up in 2020, 2021. But as you can see now, June 15th, 2022, we're starting to decline. People are starting to pull their money out of the banks and move it into money market accounts such as Fidelity, amongst others, right? Many of these depository companies are offering this type of stuff. This is just rather concerning, to say the least, when you really do the research and dig deep behind this. And I'm going to add one more layer of problems, and then we're going to talk about how this could really implode on America. So I'm sure many of you have seen this, maybe, maybe not, but again, 30-year fixed rate mortgages. Let's talk about mortgage-backed securities. They just hit 8%, which is the first time since 2000. And again, not good for the banks. This could put a lot of pressure on people, obviously not able to afford their homes, paying just absorbent amounts of interest, nothing going to the principal, people trying to keep up with the Joneses, work potentially getting more difficult to find. I know the latest work numbers came out and they were in the positive direction, but there's just a lot of problems stewing right now. And trust me, I'm a very, very positive person, but I need to make you aware of what's going on so you can ultimately make the right decision and make the right call on your money. So just please be aware of this. Now, where am I going with all this? Where is it potentially like Armageddon for America if something bad happens that you may not be thinking about? So you've heard me talk about it in the last video that, God forbid, World War III could be in the making right now. There's a lot of scary stuff going on ever since the hospital bombing a few days ago. That obviously was not a good situation. You see that the U.S. is obviously siding with Israel. And again, this is not a political channel. We're not this or that or which side we're on, none of that stuff. We want peace. We don't want innocent people being killed. That's obviously, my stance on this, obviously. So it's just a horrible thing going on. But this is what you need to understand. If, God forbid, OPEC and Iran start to sanction oil, which it seems like they're doing, and somehow they get tied into the war, us as Americans could easily produce our own oil, but we got away from that standard, which is absolutely ridiculous. Now we're dependent on foreign oil, and this could really cause a problem for us to have to go to war. And on top of it, like I mentioned in my last video, Vladimir Putin is meeting with the president of China, Xi Jinping, and it was quite scary. Actually, let me play this 22-second video showing him carrying the nuclear missile warhead codes with him as he's visiting the president of China. Call it a power trip, call it a power statement, call it whatever you want. Again, these are things you need to be aware of that at least I'm sure not seeing it in the news. They're not showing this stuff. And please understand, I'm not a fear monger or anything like that. But I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't show you this stuff. So this way you can be better prepared for saving money, moving assets, making sure you and your family are better protected. Because again, I'm going to tie this back to the banks in an important way that you really need to pay attention to and see. But let me go ahead and show you this video of Vladimir Putin. This is just terrifying. It shows Putin filmed in China, accompanied by officers with Russian nuclear briefcase. And let me go ahead and play this for you. As you can see, walking in, Russian President Vladimir Putin is seen in Beijing, accompanied by officers carrying the nuclear briefcase. And as you can see, here it is, zoomed in on the screen, and you will see Vladimir Putin following up right behind it as he is in Beijing, China. And this is just quite terrifying. Again, how does this tie in? Okay, here's the bigger problem. okay, as if obviously war is not enough of a problem, right? Again, we don't want innocent lives being shed. This is just horrible, all the bloodshed going on. But what happened in 2008? The banks were bailed out by the government, right? Whether you agree with that or not, again, not the discussion here, but that's what's sad. America's gotten very soft. We make mistakes and we have our hands out like, please help, right? Please help. But that's not going to happen this time if we go to World War III. And as it is, it's borderline that it could happen either way with the debt we have. It's just becoming ridiculous what's going on. I'll show you the debt clock in a second, but we are now stepping in and pretty much funding Islam as well. And God forbid we go to World War III. Now you're starting to see the banks, our banks, are in trouble. They haven't been diligent servers of their money, I should say, are good stewards of their money in what they should be doing. Where do you get $136 billion of negative activity? I mean, really, come on. Like, it's ridiculous. And you look at all the debt we have, right? Almost, 37 trillion dollars? I mean, we don't have money to do anything. We can't afford anything. We cannot afford to fund these wars. And there was a video of Janet Yellen saying how, oh, we'll be fine. We can fund these wars with no problem. It's disheartening, to say the least, as to what's going on. And it's just absolutely scary. And let's go ahead and take a look at the debt clock. For those of you that may not have ever seen this, this is rather depressing. So here's our national debt clock, right? I mean, how sexy and attractive is this, right? Does this look like a balance sheet that could fund a World War III and potentially bail out our banks if they need it, right? Look at this. $33 trillion. Huh? Look, interest on the debt. Almost 725 billion. This is an ever-growing problem, and there's, unfortunately, just people in power. Again, don't want to make it political, but there's just a lot of people in powerful positions that don't understand money, don't understand how things should work, and just don't understand how dangerous debt is. And you're starting to see it. And unfortunately, you may start to feel it. I pray you don't, but somebody needs to be talking about this stuff and showing this, because this is rather concerning. So just please keep this in mind. Those of you that have stayed till the end, the positive news is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to help you and save you quite a bit in this regard. First, let's go ahead and look at the chart right now. So I want you to see something very important. Here is a 200-day moving average, this yellow line here. And as you can see, now this is on the weekly chart. As you can see, we finally broke through. That's a very, very bullish sentiment, very bullish sign. And in my last video, someone did ask how much Bitcoin should we own? And I appreciate the comment and question. And this latter part of the video, I'm dedicating that to you, and I'm going to answer your question very soon. So as you can see, bullish sentiment here. There's a lot of positivity heading towards Bitcoin, and it's really sad. Like, I really don't want to pump up Bitcoin because there's so much drama in the world. I don't want to pump up Bitcoin because there's 2 wars going on and potentially a third one. Please don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But what's sad is, can you and I control this? Can you and I stop this? No, we can't. As much as we'd like to, we can't. We can only control in life what we can actually control. Despite what you may think, you can't control what the government does, right? I mean, you can't. We can't stop them from going to war or not going to war or stepping in on what Vladimir Putin's doing in China and all this stuff. We just have to sit back and just pray that things don't escalate in a worser manner. That's as good as we can do, unfortunately. But on our end, we need to be stewards and protect our family, protect our assets, protect our money that we've worked so hard for. And we have to know how to maneuver around these minefields of pandemonium and annoyance that potentially could be coming our way. Now, back to Bitcoin. Okay, this is a chart that came out of a Fidelity report last year that I absolutely love. This is just, again, for those of you maybe that just need a little more assurance on Bitcoin, this is a comparison against gold, Bitcoin, and fiat currency. And as you can see, durability, gold and Bitcoin check the box, fiat doesn't. Divisibility, not gold, but obviously Bitcoin and fiat. Fungibility, gold, Bitcoin, no fiat. Portability, not gold, too heavy, right? But Bitcoin and fiat. And again, fiat up to a certain extent. You can't just, lug around $100,000 cash and think you're going to fly to another country. That's not happening. Verifiability, not gold, only Bitcoin. Scarcity, gold to an extent, but they're still digging gold out of the earth, right? But Bitcoin, we know, has a finite amount. And track record, only gold gets this one because Bitcoin is so new. But as you can see, Bitcoin checks almost every single box. So obviously, this is just a nice little chart to kind of see and compare and understand. You're going to start to see Bitcoin take the place of gold. And don't get me wrong, gold price is going up right now, but it's nothing compared to what Bitcoin is doing. So just definitely keep that in mind. Now let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin right now. We are coming in at 28,636. Again, up a little over 7% for the last 7 days. And I went ahead and made this post on Twitter. For those of you that are not following me, please, show me the love and support. I only have 14 followers right now, but I do post on here. So if you want to get some tweets from me and just kind of what I'm thinking and feeling, go ahead and please subscribe to my channel for me, please. But I went ahead and tweeted, you need Bitcoin now more than ever. With less than 83 days, this is important, we're going to talk about this in a second, 83 days until the Blackrock Bitcoin ETF deadline. So remember, the deadline is January 10th, okay, for the spot Bitcoin ETFs, for all of them. Cathie Wood as well as waiting in line, as well as BlackRock and Fidelity and all the other players. And this part's important here. So hopefully you learned from the fake pump. So a few days ago, we had a fake pump, right, that the ETF was approved. And this candle shot up. It's called a God candle. It went up I think it was like $3,000 or $4,000 just one candle. And that's just going to give you a small taste of what's going to happen when the ETF is actually approved. Okay, so, but there's something more important in this tweet that I saved for the video today. And that is, we have less than 83 days, okay? But I didn't really elaborate too much on that in this tweet. But let's go ahead and do that now. BlackRock could easily buy up all the Bitcoin if they wanted to, as soon as their ETF is approved. This is something that could happen. Again, it's something you really can't take off the table. Okay, they have the money to do it. Remember, there's not that much liquid Bitcoin left as it is. So if anything needs to wake you up or make you hurry to get what you need, again, not financial advice, I have to always say that, but you see the trouble now I brought to your attention in the banking crisis that potentially is looming, that's not really being spoken of that much. You see what's going on in the world. You see we potentially, God forbid, could be on the edge of World War III. Hopefully not, but unfortunately, it's on the table. You see what's going on. And now you may have less than 3 months to buy the Bitcoin you want. Remember, Bitcoin is going to be the perfect hedge against whatever assets you own towards inflation. So it's the easiest way to protect what you and your family have built, what you have been doing for your children or whomever it is that you're taking care of in your family. Or maybe you're single, maybe you're by yourself. You're trying to build the proper future for yourself. Well, all those mornings of waking up at 5 or 6 a.m. and grinding and working 1, 2, maybe 3 jobs, remember that fiat money is bleeding badly. Again, you saw the debt clock. You saw the interest rate. You see now how the bond rates are going up and just the mortgage-backed securities are going up. All this stuff, this is not what you want. You see Chairman Jerome Powell having to just try to fish through what he's going to do with trying to get things under control. I mean, things are not looking good, people. They're not. And remember, I am being positive, but I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't teach you this stuff and at least bring it to your attention so you can make an educated decision for yourself and your family. But to the person who reached out to me last video, again, thank you for the comment. How much Bitcoin should you have? How much Bitcoin should you have in your portfolio? Again, this is not the easiest question to answer because I'm not here to shill anything or you know, I'm not that type of person. I truly care for each and every one of you. So to answer that question correctly, it almost is like I would have to be a financial advisor, meaning I'd have to understand your risk tolerances and those type of things. But obviously we can't do that. So let me go ahead and just make it as generic as possible for you. So within reason, within not being irresponsible of your spending and your money, in my humble opinion, you should have as much Bitcoin as you could comfortably afford. And that means, depending on your wealth level or finance level, ideally, you want to have one whole Bitcoin. That would be the gold standard. That would be a lifetime achievement. And again, I understand YouTube is worldwide. I understand you could be watching this channel from a third world country. And if that's whom you are, if that's the person I'm speaking to, then you just have to do the best you can. Because understand, every single Satoshi is going to be extremely valuable. So it's paramount that you dollar cost average in. I truly believe for the next 3 months, everybody should try to do their best dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin, because it could be drying up sooner than we even realized. Again, we don't know if that's going to happen, but what if it does? You're never going to get it again. I'd be doing you a disservice, and I keep saying that, but I would be if I wasn't at least making you think about this stuff. It's also hard to answer exactly how much you need, because I'm going to tell you stuff and then you can kind of maybe fill in the equation for yourself. How much cash do you have saved? Do you have emergency funds set up? How much money do you have in the stock market? Are you earning passively in dividend accounts? Do you have aggressive growth accounts? Do you have any stock accounts? I don't know. Maybe you're a sophisticated trader and you're trading derivatives as well on the side. You're hedging your positions. So again, this is why I say everyone's different. This is why you have to understand everyone's risk tolerance. But let's just say for the average person, yes, if you don't have any savings, if you don't have anything, if you're living paycheck to paycheck and you feel time is running out for you, I'll make a bold statement. You need to make a commitment with yourself that you're willing to change. You need to make a commitment with yourself that, okay, I realized I've done wrong in the past and I want a better life for my family, my future. I want to be a better steward of my money. I'm a Christian, so I feel for me, it's not my money, it's God's money. So I'm a steward for God's money. But whatever your belief is, or whomever or however you believe or think, be a good steward for yourself. Be a good steward for your family. And if you're just hearing this for the first time and you really want to make this change and commitment, I would take a small amount of money, even if you live in paycheck to paycheck, a tiny amount, a couple of dollars, and DCA into Bitcoin. And DCA means dollar cost average, $5 a week, $5 a month, whatever it is. Don't think it's not going to make a difference. If you're willing to hold it, it's going to make a huge difference in your life. At least now you own the rarest, most valuable asset on this planet. That should make you feel better. That should help you sleep a little better at night. And most importantly, that should give you some motivation to start to fix all the other things you may be doing wrong with your money. Why you don't have any savings. Why maybe you don't have any equities. Why you don't have other potential assets that could be helping you. Remember last video I made the analogy about the swimming pool. How many hose pipes do you have going to your swimming pool? So hopefully that answers your question. Again, I know it's a little generic, but I'm trying to give you a broad spectrum of different ways for you to think and analyze this topic to the best of your ability. You know, for everyone I'm speaking to, for everyone who's listening to this video, it's very concerning what's going on in the world. And like I said, for those of you who know me, know I'm an extremely positive and uplifting person. I am. But sometimes I have to make the harder videos that no one wants to make or no one really wants to hear. And I hope to God I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong about all these things. I know I'm not wrong on Bitcoin, but I hope I'm wrong on the banks. I hope I'm wrong on the US government and the debt. I hope I'm really wrong on World War III and all this stuff. I truly, truly do. But we have to be prepared just in case. Take it for what you will. I appreciate each and every one of you stay until the end. Please, if you gained value from this video, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up. Subscribe for me, please. We're on a mission to get these videos out to more people, and I do appreciate you. And please remember, live every day to the fullest. Tomorrow is not promised to anyone. God bless you, and I will see you in the next one.